views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow, everyone. I am so excited. I think that's like a Pointer Sister song. Like
Absolutely 100% is.
Is that the name of the song, or did I just make that up?
No, that's a complete song.
Okay.
Do you want to do your own rendition of it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So excited, and I just can't. What's the words?
I know, I just can't hide it.
I just can't hide
There.
it. That's it. That's what I'm feeling about it.
We're taking it on the road, Pat, me and you. We're on the road.
Boom. Nope, don't worry about it, folks. I promise. Thank you for your emails. I know that you listen from all over the country, and I'm not going to mention football. Today, I've got something much more important to talk about. Get into it. Get into it. Winning at the Game of Life, my co-host, Lynn Brown, Full Spectrum Finance, Part 2. Benny, say this with me, because this is really like one of those things. Say, Full Spectrum Finance.
Full Spectrum Finance.
Full Spectrum Finance. We need a Golden Globe
We're
award.
professional here. We know how to throw in sound effects when we need to, right? Lynn's loving it.
Here's what happens for me every year. I get to stop and I get to look back and I get to think about in deep, deep gratitude, as one of my dear friends, Deborah Engel, has said, deep gratitude for everything that has come. No, not the good, the bad, the ugly, just everything. Let's just say everything. Everything that was, everything that is, and everything that's about to be. Working with Lynn Brown has been not only transformative to all of you listening to the show, but has been transformative to us here. And I want to say that what you're about to hear today in today's show from Lynn Brown, who is beyond anything that I could say to you, somebody that is stepping into her full spectrum services, life, teaching, and intuition. It is because of people that I get to work with like Lynn and watch what happens. Watch how in a relatively short period of time, folks, in media, I want to tell you, if you're thinking that 2 years is a long period of time, think about this. When you have a dream and you can articulate what it is, redefine yourself, put up an amazing website, and then come on and talk about full spectrum finance. This is how you get to change your life. What Lynn does is she takes regular lives and infuses them with the magic of soul. She's the owner of Rawness of Life, intuitive energy healer and medium, and now the creator of the Full Spectrum series. Today, it's all about finance. And you know why that is? Because it just is. But isn't it interesting, Lynn, that here we are today, we're going to talk about this, and right in the movies now, right? In the movies, there's this brand new movie with a cast of characters that everybody would want to be hanging out with to talk about financial stuff that happened. Lynn, it's great to have you here. What do you think of all that?
I think it is divinely ordered. It's time. It's time to do it. It's time to get into it, and I'm looking forward to what I'm going to talk about, what I'm disclosing today, what I'm bringing forth to the planet today, and I just can barely contain myself, actually.
Well, let's kick it off because I referenced a movie, and Benny, I don't know if I'm going to get it right. Big Shorty or Short Biggie, or I don't know
Get
what
Shorty?
No, it's a new movie out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Brad Pitt and everybody they're in it. It's
Oh,
about
yeah. I don't
right?
know. I'll look it up.
Right. But that was then. Here it is now. You are a financial planner. You work with people, help them understand the financial situation, but also what's possible. What is happening in the financial world and what should we expect? Lynn Brown.
Well, I just want to start with saying that there's a new financial paradigm which is emerging on the planet. And I'm here to guide people into that shift, which is a shift in consciousness around prosperity. And then the second part of that is up onto this new physical platform that we are shifting into in the financial world. I will be doing this personally by showing you how money works on the metaphysical plane and on the physical plane, helping you all to navigate through the mechanics of financial decisions, which are in line with your ultimate highest good, your goals, and your objectives for life. I've been working on the energy systems of the financial systems for the past few months, and my past show, I kind of gave a 10,000-foot level of that, and you can go back and hear that to kind of get a precursor to this. But I've been working both on the third dimension of finance and the fifth dimension, which is where our planet is moving to as a consciousness. Now, with that being said, I want to do a brief analogy to help people really conceptualize and ground in what the heck I'm talking about is this movement from the third to the fifth. Well, if we were in let's say a 20-story building, and currently we as a planet and everyone on it are on the third floor, then out of the blue, we get an announcement that there is an elevator going up to the fifth floor. And some of us are not even aware that other floors exist. Some of us want to stay on the third floor, and that's fine. But the elevator is leaving soon, so you have to make a decision, and you have to get into action. So here's the caveat: it is a completely different world on the fifth floor, completely different. It is a floor that does not tolerate or allow much of the low energy things that the third floor allows. So in order to be allowed onto the fifth floor, you must release some of these things. And you must be willing to participate in a new system, internally and externally. Okay, so this is internal stuff we're talking about. This is the metaphysical stuff we're talking about, money and abundance, and external. And external is the tangible stuff. It's the money systems that we've come to know. It's the stock market. It's the external worldly things that we've become to know. So on both levels.
So, when we're looking at this, Lynn, I mean, this is really each and every one of us try to understand what this paradigm is that you're talking about. So now here you are, you've been in the financial world for quite some time. And we've talked about this before, how deep your resume really goes. But what are some of the things that you've been observing and have been doing over the past couple months? Because, I don't know about you, but usually when I come up with something as profound as you have, a light bulb has gone on. Now, I can't always explain what it is, but I would love to know what has been going on over the past few months in this arena, not just in the outer world, but with you as well.
Right. Well, sometimes as I look back, the light bulb did go on. The light bulb went on for me about a month ago. But sometimes throughout that process, I was just doing what I was guided to do energetically. And I actually, Dr. Pett, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I was just saying yes. I was going into the meditations. I was participating in the energy work of the global financial system, which I was asked to do. Not until, like I said, about a month ago did it all snap together what the heck I was truly doing. And it was fun for me to watch myself doing what I was doing on the timeline that I was doing it in this energy world, in this energy system, which I refer to as the fifth dimension. and then simultaneously watch what comes to the physical surface, such as the stock market having its little hiccups, the oil debacle, and what's really happening there, and the cleansing that's happening there, and some of these things that are just arising. So as I'm doing this cleansing of the current systems on the planet, I'm doing it energetically, and really what I'm doing is flushing out any impurities, any non-truths, any foundational systems on the planet, both on the physical planet and in the money systems and in the corporations and in the households and now in the people, which cannot be in the new world that we're moving to. I'm bringing in the blueprint for the new financial systems. That is my goal. That is my focus. That's what I'm here to do. And I'm laying them in place for us to start transitioning to on the physical world. So it's here. Again, if we refer back to the last show, I shared some of the energy work I was doing. Well, last week or 2 weeks ago, I noticed myself laying rebar in that blueprint. It was like a map that I had laid on the planet, and now I was laying rebar in it in the metaphysical world. And that to me told me, and I knew right then with every fiber of my being that I was now grounding it into the physical plane. So it's here. It's made it to the physical plane, and some aspects already, and we should be hearing about those aspects very soon in the media, as well as we are already seeing the current structure start to rebalance or adjust to make room for the new systems on the planet. And I just want to stop and say, because the stuff what I'm talking about today can be pretty high-level stuff, or if you can feel the magnitude of what I'm sharing today, you don't have to quite totally get it. But if you feel the magnitude of it, I just encourage you to come back and revisit the show, listen to it again, let it soak into your being, reach out to me, contact me, ask for more information on it, because it's going to take some processing.
Well, let's talk about, for a minute, what gets in the way of us thinking about the fifth dimension? What gets in the way of this? It's worth a conversation about what it is and how each and every one of us has the ability. A kind of interesting conversation is that, we may be using some new terms, but they're not any different than when Einstein talked about and others talked about quantum. We're kind of at that place now where we've all adapted and said, yeah, the world, quantum, we get it. Oh, wait, energy? Yeah, we're all energy. We get it. And so don't you think that the idea of the fifth dimension or a fifth dimension system is a natural progression, Lynn?
Absolutely. And I feel it just kind of, I feel the planet has reached there. I feel some of the systems on the planet has reached there. And I feel like on a human being level and some of our household systems, we're now due. It's our time to merge into that and onto that platform. And that's why I use that explanation or that description in the very beginning. So I'm helping to lead this shift consciously, which is the internal aspect of it, and up onto this new physical platform. I literally see in my mind just people kind of climbing up the ladder, kind of like, is it King? I don't know, that video game where, geez, I have it in my mind, but I can't picture it. Or I can't get it. Is it King Kong? No.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. There we go. Oh my gosh.
Best game
okay,
ever.
so I see people starting to climb up these ladders to get up to this new era, and so it's here. I mean, I know it. I know if you can look down and see your hand and know that you have a hand, that's how I look down and see that we're in the fifth dimension. I know it.
So let's ask the question about what does this really require? I mean, what does it mean when we're talking about creating a new paradigm, creating a blueprint, going from one blueprint to the other? You know what comes to mind in thinking about this and thinking about the show today? They did this interview with the guy that created Avatar, James Cameron, right? Mm-hmm. And they were asking him, like, dude, when are you going to do Avatar 2? I don't think that was the exact question, but you get my point. And, his answer was pretty much like what you're talking about. That was 3D. How we need to present something other than 3D, something new, not even 4D. We need to have something that is clearly like a 5D.
Right.
And so, he's like, okay, we got to go from 3D to something that doesn't exist. Can you talk about that? Is that what we're talking about here in money? And, for everybody listening, we're going to skip the break here because we've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'll just kind of give everybody a sneak peek into the brief description of what I see some of the aspects and the components and the systems are going to look like in this fifth dimensional system. First of all, I believe, and I've been shown, that we're going to have very transparent systems, very transparent business dealings. Not that businesses aren't going to exist. Let's not jump to that, fairy tale conclusion. We are still in the physical plane. We are still here to be participating in the game, in a body. So I don't see these things disappearing. I just see them shifting to a new paradigm. So transparent and heart-centered businesses. We would not be taking advantage of people. Everybody's equal. I personally, energetically, have seen one currency formulate. This hasn't reached the physical plane yet, but I believe it's happening. If you just kind of take a look, if you open your ears and look at the globe and see what's happening, I see one currency. Now, I don't know yet, from my own energetic perspective and my intuitive information, if the currency goes back to gold and silver, or if it's one currency supported and backed by the physical gold and silver. Okay, so I don't quite have the clarity on that. I don't even care, really, except that I do see one currency where everybody's equal on the global scale and eventually working its way down to every person on the planet. I also see the part that is still shifting and where I really get to start helping people is grounding in this new idea and understanding of our money blueprint into each household and into each person. And these things still need to change before we can handle all of the abundance that is there for us, and which the planet is already shifting around to give to us. And I mean physical abundance. And we're going to get to this, some of these disclosures and some of these amazing announcements towards the end of this show. But just imagine if you had a container, or if somebody said, hey, I have a ton of gold here. Can you come pick it up? And I said, yeah, I'll come pick it up. And they say, put your hands out. And if I can't physically hold a ton of gold in my hands, I'm going to drop it, right? And so this is a part of the money blueprint. Most of our money blueprints that we have in our system, and I'm going to talk about what the heck is money blueprint. It's the foundation, right? It's like any other blueprint. But if we don't have a blueprint big enough and strong enough, founded in highest consciousness and our creation energies and divine alignment, we can't hold that abundance. Okay, so it's not a figurative thing anymore. It's a literal thing that we need to start preparing for.
Yeah. I want to say one thing for folks out there. If you're thinking, wow, this is way over the top, fifth dimension here. Let me just, say this. There is something in geometry, just so everybody knows, there's something in geometry that Schlegel actually created, a Schlegel diagram, and I've probably given you too much of my radio pronunciation. But the idea of fifth dimension and a perspective of what that looks like is fascinating, because in the world of Schlegel diagrams and cubes, when you put it in rotation, it literally changes a perspective. And isn't it interesting, Lynn, that's what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep. And more, I keep on seeing things in their energetic blueprint form.
Exactly.
And that's because that's what I'm supposed to be bringing forth to the planet and to the people and people's consciousness. And there's two ways I'm doing this. This is literally two ways. So first is altering your current money blueprint from your current system, which has participated and lived in the third dimensional plane. So it's your current one, right? And shifting that to the new fifth dimensional blueprint. Sometimes, when we buy a house to remodel, sometimes we don't knock down the whole house. Sometimes we just remodel it, right? Sometimes we just take out some of the systems that don't work and we shift some things around. So that's what we're talking about there. And then the second part is guiding people into the physical participation in the mechanics of finance and everything that represents money and money movement. This is really where I want to spend some time today talking about this blueprint and the participation and why it's so important that these two pieces, altering your money blueprint and participating in the physical aspects, that's the key. It's the key to shifting. It's the key to getting up the ladder to the next level in Donkey Kong.
Well, so when we're talking about this and you're saying, okay, let's shift the blueprint. What is the money blueprint, and let's shift it, right? How are you helping people in the mechanics of this? And what do I mean by that? Your background is so vast and so deep. Financial planner, you work with the best of the best. You're helping people. You've integrated a new approach in doing so. So what is it that you're doing? How are you going about this? To help people with, as you call it, the mechanics of money. And dare we say money? I love that we're saying money. Everybody say money with me. Say money with me. Because we're not like saying, oh, money like that. Oh, money's bad. Oh, money's dirty. And so the question is, how are you doing it? And why is it important to actually even do it?
Well, first of all, by engaging with the mechanics of money, we begin to demystify it, right? Like that, you just said, oh, money. So many people would say that. If you say money, probably 8 people out of 10 would say, money. Or be kind of look around and be scared before they actually uttered that word out of their mouth. That's a sign in itself, right? And when we start to demystify it, we inherently release fear, the fear that paralyzes most of us from actually engaging in the physical game. Many of us say we want more money or more abundance, but are too fearful to even participate in the physical and mechanical aspects of money. When we learn how something works, anything, we begin to have the power to master that thing. Until then, we are mastered by it. Now, I want to share an analogy that I use in many of my workshops, and that's the distinction between a thermostat and a thermometer. If we were to put you, Pat, if we were to put you in a room and turn up the heat really high, you might be uncomfortable with your surroundings and your environment. But then after I let you sit in that for a little bit and you just sat there, I would come in and I would tell you, well, Pat, actually there's this thing called a thermostat. It's right over here on the wall. You have the power to get up and adjust the thermostat to change the environment to something that is more comfortable for you. And then I leave you. And it's here where you make the decision. Do I sit here and be mastered by my environment? Do I basically be a thermostat, one who measures the temperature in the room and has no control over it? Or do I become the master of my environment, and do I get up and go take those steps and adjust that thermostat to create the environment that is comfortable for me? This is why the mechanics of money is important. We need to start mastering the physical aspects and not allow it to master us.
Right. And then when you're saying mastering, I'd like you to clarify this a little bit, because, when we talk about mastering, we're talking about the both in all body, mind, and spirit and beyond. So when we say mastering it, Lynn, aren't you also talking about, wait a minute, how do we show up and work with it in the real world? Oh, okay, wait. Now, how do we emotionally hold it in the way that we literally want to live with it, right?
Right.
And aren't you talking about those things? You're not just talking about, oh, wait a minute, how do we manage a financial portfolio?
No, I'm actually not even talking about the financial portfolio. I just want to make that clear.
Thank you.
If financial portfolios disappeared tomorrow, I have so much to help you with in finance, so much to help you with both metaphysically, internally, emotionally, and physically. And talking about the mechanics of it is this. How many people resist opening their statements from their bank account each month? So many.
Each month or each year?
Yeah, so many, right? How many people... how many people don't want to look at their statement or their bank account, like open it up online? How many people resist paying bills because the fear that comes up in their system just around, are they failing? Are they succeeding? You know, it's just all this fear around money. Mm-hmm. And when I say master it, I mean you get up, you know you have to pay a bill, you go online, you simply log on, you hit send, you close it, you say, thank you, universe, for providing me with the money, and you go about your day. You don't lose 1 ounce of sleep. You don't produce 1 ounce of negative emotion or fear to muddy up the vibration in your aura portfolio, right? This has nothing to do with the returns on the stock market. I just want to make that very, very, very clear. Anything that I'm talking about moving forward, it really does not have anything to do with those returns. It has to do with the total return of your money blueprint and what you're creating in the world around you, anything that impacts you around finances.
I love this. You know, we're going to go to a quick break here, Lynn, and excited for this to continue. But before we do, would you please let folks know a couple of things? One, how can they find out more about what you're talking about, the topic, how they can work with you directly, and if you have any upcoming events that you want to share with people before we go to break?
Sure. You can always email me at Lynn at the letter R, letter U, intuit.com. I have an event page posted up, and that's at lynnbrownevent.com. I have all of my events through March listed on there, where we're really talking about different aspects of the prosperity, of the consciousness of gold, silver, and these, some of these items. I'm offering basic energy tools that we're really going to have to learn as a consciousness to climb up those ladders. And so that's at lynnbrownevents.com. My website is also lynnmbrown.com. And I actually have an event tonight in Bellevue at my office. You just have to get in contact with me. There's one happening tonight and one tomorrow night. I still have a couple spots open tonight and probably 2 spots open on Thursday. So you have to just personally contact me or call in the radio station and give me your contact information. I can get you those details. But it's something you're not going to want to miss. I mean, we're talking about the metaphysical and the physical aspects of your money blueprint during these things. This is creating the shift. So get in contact with me. This is a boat you guys are not going to want to miss.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to say to folks, too, is we're going to go to a quick break here, but I really do want you to take a look at a couple things. And albeit some of this is, still in progress here, with what we're doing. But if you actually go to the website lynnmbrown.com, lynnmbrown.com, what you're going to see, if you think about it, is a visual representation of what it means to kind of show up in a new paradigm of things. What does it mean to say yes to what we love to call accelerated expansiveness for this year? How do I define it? All I can say is more to be revealed when we come back. We're going to talk with Lynn about what does this mean? How do these programs come together? What is she creating? And how can we all create this new paradigm with her? We'll be right back.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.
A morning filled with dynamic, inspirational music, spirituality, and uplifting messages by TJ Woodward. Come and connect with community conversations and awaken your senses. Awakened Living Sundays with TJ Woodward. Join TJ every Sunday in the San Francisco Bay Area Chapel at Fort Mason and live streaming online 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Pacific Time. To learn more and access the live stream, visit www.awakenedlivingsf.org. Has asthma or allergies got you singing the raspy blues? Allergy and Asthma Networks is the nation's premier nonprofit patient-centered network of doctors, caregivers, patients, and healthcare professionals who are dedicated to ending death and suffering due to asthma, allergies, and related conditions. Join President and CEO Tanya Winders each month on the Dr. Pat Show to learn more and visit allergyasthmanetwork.org today. Breathe better together with Allergy and Asthma Network.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now through March for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedman Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Wow, everyone, welcome back. Excited about today's show. It's really kind of cool, that we get to talk with Lynn, and Lynn is coming to us, as we know, talking about full spectrum finance. What is it and how does it work and how are we affected by it? What are our choices here? Lynn, before the break, we talked about, okay, what are the mechanics of it? Now, I know that you're doing a number of different things, right, to help people, but you have a really very special giveaway. Tell me a little bit about what that is, and then I'll let folks know how they can have access to it.
Okay, great. I have, what I'm going to do is give away 2 of my workshops that are coming up. So for 2 people who feel like they really want to get into this shift and start grounding in this new reality of abundance into their systems and into their physical world. I guess, Pat's going to let you know how to do it, but I'm giving away 2 free admissions to any of my workshops that are coming up. And, I'll just give you some of them that are coming up. One is on January 19th. There are some prerequisites, and we need some you need to have worked with a little bit of energy in the past, but it's called Matching the Consciousness of Prosperity. And then we also have January 28th is Meditation with Ascended Master Saint Germain, who we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. Saint Germain is my buddy in all of this prosperity movement. I'm also doing a toned-down version where there's no prerequisites needed called The Consciousness of Prosperity at Maya Health in Renton. And then doing a monthly meditation. So there's a lot on the docket. There's a lot of opportunities for you to get in where you fit in, to start wherever you are. Don't wait to get to that perfect start lane. Just start now. So I have a place for everybody to get started at.
I love it. And so here's what we want to do right now. For those of you out there, we have 2 of these, I believe. So what we're going to do is one at a time. I think Rachel is in there picking up the phone. So first caller, 1-800-930-2819. And what we'll do is we'll just simply get your information so that Lynn can call you and talk with you about what the workshops are. And then you can select at that point in time. 1-800-930-2819 is to call in to receive one of the openings for the workshop. For those of you out there, please go ahead and do that. Also, you can go to the Dr. Pat Show or Transformation Talk Radio. Put your question in if you have a question. But if you would like to have an opportunity to go to the workshop, I too will need your information there. Okay, Lynn, let's recap before we jump ahead.
Yes. I know that we've been talking about the blueprint. I just want to go back into that a little bit more detail so people can conceptualize and really ground in that visual. Let's start with the general concept of a blueprint. If we take a blueprint of a structure, any structure, and we put the physical pieces together to match the blueprint, then we have, and only then do we have the complete creation, right? Every blueprint is not a good blueprint. So every blueprint is not done with proper engineering to have a healthy and strong physical building, right? The physical aspects of money and abundance in your life are absolutely, completely, and totally a product of your energy blueprint of money. So it is your internal map and instructions to the physical plane of what you want, what you don't want, and how you want it laid out. I want to mention just a few different layers that I've been working with on the energetic level, just so people have a conscious awareness of all that's changing out there. And I'll go into further detail into each of these areas in future shows and workshops. But one I spoke of, it's a planetary blueprint, right? Earth has literally downloaded a new money and abundance blueprint. This is a top-down movement. I helped lay that down. It kind of looks like a spider web that just laid down on top of the planet. It governs the global monetary systems, global currencies, and then the businesses and corporations and banking systems have their own blueprints. And then we at the household have blueprints, and then at the individual body and soul level, we have money blueprints. So I just wanted to kind of define that a little bit more. I don't want it to be overwhelming. You guys don't have to do anything with it except really start to be aware and conscious of the physical steps you can take with me or with others to really start to shape shift your blueprint. And then secondly, unless we participate with something on the physical, it remains an idea or concept, right? So unless we start to physically build that house or that building based on the blueprint, it's a concept. So playing with the mechanics of money and finance literally grounds that blueprint into the physical world, and that's my mission.
Well, and that's a mission that you're willing to help people along with by helping us understand what they are and what action is for us to take.
Correct.
Now, I understand you have some disclosure topics you want to announce today about the things that are about to emerge.
Absolutely. This is a big deal. I just really, people are probably going to have to go back and listen to this, or you're going to have to do your research, or definitely here's where you would reach out to me if you want additional information on this. I can send you links and to resources. I'm not going to get into so much detail on what these components are, and know that there's more components than I can even talk about today, or allowed to talk about today, or the planet just really isn't ready to hear about. But the first one is the global collateral accounts. This is a global shift of money between countries, and this is happening behind the scenes. You might start to see this emerging already, right? You can kind of see the markets not knowing what they're doing. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So for the first one, again, is global collateral accounts. I'm not going to say any more about it. You can contact me or look it up. The second one is NESARA Global Prosperity Programs. That's NESARA Global Prosperity Programs, which are also due to be announced and activated. And I feel, of course, I haven't been given a date, but I feel it in my heart that it's very soon. And these are new rules and regulations and systems that will exist in the new world, right? New banking systems, new business rules. And you're just going to hear and see huge changes coming around the corner pretty soon. To the Federal Reserve Board and the Internal Revenue Service, those are both components that are going to be absolutely changed. And one of the things that I am super excited to talk about, because you guys hear me talking about Saint Germain, is one of the things that he did while he was alive on the planet, hundreds of years ago. And this is, he set up the Saint Germain World Trust Fund. And this has an esoteric history. He actually put away these funds in an account, rubies, gold, all this stuff, so many years ago when he was embodied here on the planet for this time, so that we could have abundance, physical abundance. And the part that is so critical for you to understand is, we can't hold these physical pieces of abundance in our hands until we consciously have shifted to a place on the planet that can handle the money, and making heart-centered decisions with them and using it to better the planet, helping people who are homeless become have homes, having people who are not eating to have food. So the money was designed to make the world a better place, and until we reach there consciously, we couldn't have these funds. Was designed also to, once it is released to the masses, for there to be a instant and immediate release of pressure and fear and anxiety of what we've held in the past around money, right? It's kind of kept us in survival mode. So these funds being released are absolutely designed to give us the freedom to truly carry our heart's desires and to truly go into this new place of consciousness to help the planet ascend, to help each of us ascend. If we really, really, really did not ever have to worry about money again, what would you do as an individual to help change the planet? What would you do as an individual to change your world, internally and externally, to help make it a better place? That's something you need to start contemplating because it's a reality. But again, these monies that were put away by him a long time ago were designed to be released if and only with and when our planet had reached a certain level of consciousness, and we are either there or right on the brink of it. So that's why I am releasing that information today.
Well, and let's take a minute and talk about why this information is so important. And here you are, you're releasing this information today in a way that many people had an intuitive sense, Lynn, about. And then, folks want to know, okay, this is really enough information for me to want to know more. And I know that there's more to say. What is your plan for continuing to help people understand what this is and how it even affects them, right? Because that's what people want to know. How is it going to affect me? I don't know if you're picking it up, but I'm kind of picking up a little energy because, people have been through a very, very difficult and unexpected past 10 years. And I think in people's minds, sometimes we go to a place of fear, even if we don't quite have a sense of what we actually should be, anything at all. So how do you plan to take this out to the world?
There's a couple different components, right? First of all, as these announcements start to come onto the physical media, I want as many people to know. I just am giving people a conscious heads up because who knows how one would perceive that information if we didn't actually know where it's coming from, what is it intended to do, right? This change, it's massive, massive, massive amounts of change, and that sends people into fear, resistance. And so I'm just kind of giving people a little bit of a heads up. I can't give a timing, and I don't even know exactly yet because I've asked before, can you please give me some more information and more details on this source, Saint Germain? And he kind of laughs at me and he says, we appreciate your excitement, Lynn, and we really do. But if we give you this information, you're not going to be able to contain yourself. You're not going to be able to hold still with it. And it's just the divine timing of it all really has to be perfect. So as more stuff is revealed, I will be revealing it. There are plenty of resources. I'm going to have stuff going up on my Facebook page, Rawness of Life. And you can also get there through lynnbrownevent.com, which takes you directly to my Facebook page. So if you want to stay in tune and follow the announcements that are happening, the new classes that I'm teaching, which do focus on some of these releases, that's where you can find it. That's how you can help prepare yourself. You can help. You can learn some energy tools. You can get aligned with Source. Start doing some meditation. This is a movement and a shift of consciousness. And like I said before, it really takes building those muscles. So that's what we have to do, is build those muscles.
Okay, so let's talk about this. But before we do, I want to just say we have another ticket to one of Lynn's workshops we'd love to give away. First one went rather quickly, but as I said before, there are two. 1-800-930-2819. Yeah, give us a call, 1-800-930-2819. There are many ways that we know how to bring information forth. But when we're talking about paradigm shifts, Lynn, as you are today, it is exactly the way you described. At least it has been for me. I have to have an opportunity for more to be revealed. Mm-hmm. And the question about that is, what are the levels of awareness that we can have as these things are being aware? What should we be paying attention to? And what I mean by that is, so for example, I've often talked about, how when I got sick in 2004 and how there were signs that I didn't pay attention to. What signs should we be on a lookout for?
Honestly, your heart. The fifth dimension is a heart-based dimension. Really, really have to start listening to our heart. Signs that our body gives us. If we're if we're going to make a left turn instead of a right turn, our body's going to tell us there's something not right about this. And you just start asking for a little bit more guidance and awareness. You can also, as you start hearing media things on the news, and I don't expect the news to come out with the mainstream news to come out with something until it's really, really, really hit home, until most of the stuff we're talking about is already done. And in fact, I just want to say, some of the things that are happening on the stock market, in my opinion, energetically, intuitively, and because I'm in the financial system, I see these adjustments being made, and to me, it's a remodel, right? So if you think a system is collapsing, I don't believe that, because there's already new systems built in the background, and I know this. There's already new systems in the background built for us to jump up onto on that platform. And again, I will have that information. I already have the information. And I don't doubt for a second that as those new things are coming out, I will be one of the first people to know about it, either intuitively and physically. So I'm here to really be a spokesperson and to lead people in the area of this financial shift.
Okay, so let's take a look at where we are in terms of the message we want to present. And, for the many people out there that are thinking, wow, how does this start to look for me? How am I affected? And I think one of the things I'd like you to talk about, Lynn, is when we're talking about full spectrum financial and talking about a shift in paradigm, human nature suggests that we go to the worst case scenario. We might be listening to a show like today and think, oh my gosh, this doesn't sound good. What am I going to do? And I think we need to spend a few minutes about talking about, what are paradigm shifts that lead to abundance and not scarcity. And I think that's something that we have to talk about in the context of this today.
Yeah, in my opinion, we're already living in the scarcity mode, vibration a little bit by default here on the planet right now. And what we get to move to is this new paradigm. And what we have to realize is we have to let some things go. We have to let some of the systems that just can't hold truth and the highest vibration, and we have to let some of those systems go. Again, it's like I just want to keep coming back to this remodeling of a house. I know my house could use a remodel in the kitchen. To get to the new end product, we're going to have to tear down the cabinets. We're not going to tear down the house, but we're going to tear down the cabinets, probably put in a new sink. So we're going to throw out the faucets, right? And so if people can ground those concepts into something that they know has a ultimately good end result, that's really going to help our bodies through this. And know, please know that there will be people like me, Wendy, my friend. There's so many healers that are in tune and alignment with being prepared to assist everybody with the changes, and that's what we're really here for. That's what makes us happy, is to help people do that shift. I just want to say, though, I have to reiterate. I have to reiterate that this time of change really does require you getting in the game and doing the work. This is so different than listening to the concept or reading about a concept. This transition to a higher vibration of abundance for everything that we want to create, it has to come from an internal shift in your belief system and a cleansing of your old belief systems. I just want to say the best investment you can make right now is in yourself. Invest your time into this shift. Invest your money into this shift. Get into it. Get into this shift. There's the resources available. I don't know. If you can, trust me. Let me help you. If it feels good to you, check in with your heart if it feels good to you, and take a jump.
Mm. How has creating this, Lynn, affected you personally? I think it's always interesting. How has this affected you personally? And how has it helped you shape your personal message for today?
Boy, I just feel like I'm really living into everything that I came here on the planet to do. I see my background in sports, my background in coaching, my background in business and entrepreneurship, all fitting together and snapping together perfectly like one puzzle, like the ultimate puzzle picture. It feels good to snap in those pieces, and it empowers me to be able to offer this kind of information and leadership to the people on the planet, because in my mind, we're not separate. I am you, you are me. And so if I'm going, I want you to come with, so that's what's shifted with me. I really feel like I've stepped into who I am and my power and my certainty.
All right. I want to ask you this question, in the context of what you've said here today. We get a lot of requests from people to join the network. They have a lot of questions. And, in the end, they're always, either all in or on the fence or very, no, this is not for me. But the folks that are in sometimes have questions, and they have questions about, how do I show up in the world? So here's the question I want for you. I would love for you to talk about here for a minute. Our theme this year is accelerated expansiveness. What are the points that you can make about having an expansive nature, getting into it, and what you talked about today? Are there connections to all of these energies for you?
Absolutely. Again, when you opened the show, you said, what I do, and what my theme statement is I take people's lives. I take everyday aspect of people's lives and infuse them with the magic of soul. And I didn't use the word magic lightly. When you infuse soul to be the center of all the physical things that you're doing on the planet, it's nothing less than magical. And you have to take chances. So you have to take those leaps of faith. You have to release people who aren't willing to come with you. You have to be willing to say yes and jump. And then your faith is going to pull through. And it's funny, Saint Germain just said, tell them that saying you always say. So here it is. The larger the leap of faith you take, the farther you are when you've landed. Let me say that one more time.
Say it again.
The larger the leap of faith you take, the farther you are when you've landed. So that's what I say. Start taking some leaps of faith. Be heart-centered. Start listening to yourself and not necessarily the opinions of those around you. Of course, you can check in with others, but ultimately check in with your heart, please. It's going to guide you. It's not going to guide you in a wrong direction.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lynn. Again, let folks know the best way to find out more about you if you could, and give them your events page.
My event is lynnbrownevent.com. You can find my website at lynnmbrown.com. And you can always email me personally, lynn@ruintoit.com. And also, be ready for the book, The Consciousness of Money, coming out. It'll be a workbook, so you can start to work through some of these things in your own house.
Awesome. We're going to take a short break, everyone. Not done. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.